Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight in to peel back the layers of myth surrounding one of the absolute most arresting, complex, and frankly misunderstood figures in global culture, Goddess Kali. You know, when you first look at her, the imagery is intense, it's graphic, it's visually overwhelming. But beneath that initial shock of skulls and blood, literally every single detail you're seeing is a brilliantly and carefully coded symbol.
So, it begs the question, is this the face of ultimate destruction or ultimate love? In the West, and honestly even among a lot of casual observers, Kali gets mischaracterized. She's painted as a goddess of evil or just sheer mindless death. But to her millions of devotees, she's simply Maa, Mother, the fierce protector. So how exactly do we reconcile the skulls and the blood with ultimate motherly love?
To answer that, we're going to decode her anatomy step by step. We'll start with the mother of paradox, then look at her nakedness, hair, and the void. Third, we'll examine her four arms of power, followed by the garlands of heads and hands, the tongue and the teeth, and finally, the imagery of her stepping on Lord Shiva.
All right, let's start with section 1, the mother of paradox, fear and compassion.
It's a huge contrast, right? You have this visceral, shocking aesthetic up against the serene philosophy of moksha, or ultimate liberation. The ancient texts actually tell us that Kali's terrifying appearance is compassion in its most radical form. She doesn't destroy people. She destroys the ego, she destroys ignorance, and she wipes out those demonic forces that keep the human soul bound up in suffering. Even her home in the cremation grounds, it's a stark, undeniable reminder that all material things are temporary, but the soul is eternal. Moving on to section 2, nakedness, hair, and void, the overarching form. We're kicking off our anatomical decode with her most fundamental physical traits, her complexion, her hair, and her lack of clothing. Trust me, nothing here is arbitrary. First off, her nakedness isn't literal. It's meant to show that she is pure being consciousness bliss. She's known as Digambari, which is this beautiful term that translates to clothed in space. Think about it. We humans are wrapped up in Maya, right? The illusion of the material world made of earth, water, fire, air, and space. But Kali exists entirely outside of all that. She existed before the creation of the universe, and she's going to remain long after its dissolution. She literally cannot be clothed or contained by the finite universe.
And her dark complexion, it's the infinite void into which all colors and forms eventually dissolve. Just like the great 19th century saint Sri Ramakrishna noted, when all colors of the spectrum mix, what do you get? Black. She is the deep, dark void of space and the darkness of the mother's womb from which all life springs.
Now, moving from infinite space to infinite time, let's talk about her hair. Just as nature cannot be domesticated, her loose hair shows she is the raw, untamed force of time itself. Actually, fun fact, the name Kali stems from the Sanskrit word kala, which literally means time. Her disheveled hair flowing wildly all around her signifies that time simply cannot be neatly braided, organized, or stopped by human hands. It just flows continuously, bringing both life and, inevitably, decay.
Okay, section 3, the four arms of power, a complete cycle. Let's look at her limbs.
She perfectly balances the terrifying weapons of her left hands with the reassuring blessings of her right. Her right hands are formed into these ancient gestures, or mudras. The upper right hand says, "Fear not," offering divine protection, while the lower right hand offers charity and worldly blessings. But her left hands, well, they tell a much, much sharper story. Here's the thing. She doesn't hold a gruesome trophy. She holds your slain ego, severed by divine knowledge. In tantric philosophy, that severed head is ahamkara, the false, limited sense of I and mine that causes basically all human suffering. And the sword she uses to cut it off, that's jhana, discerning absolute wisdom. She's essentially performing radical spiritual surgery on you, cutting you free from your own limiting delusions. Which brings us to section 4, garlands of heads and hands, the ornaments of mortality. At first glance, her jewelry looks like the attire of a battlefield nightmare, but it actually holds a really profound secret.
50. 50 is a highly auspicious number here, and it refers to the exact number of severed heads or skulls making up her legendary Mundamala necklace. So why exactly 50? I promise you, it's not just some random number of defeated enemies.
In a truly fascinating twist, Kali is the mother of all language, and she's wearing our mental delusions as a purified garland. According to the texts, the 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet represent the fundamental vibrations that create all human thoughts, concepts, and labels. By wearing them around her neck, Kali is demonstrating her absolute, complete mastery over the mind and language. She literally takes the chaotic noise of human thought, purifies it, and wears it as a divine ornament. How amazing is that?
And then there's her skirt. By wearing our actions around her waist, she frees us from the exhausting cycle of action and consequence. You see, hands represent karma, the work we do, the actions we take, and the results that ultimately bind us to the cycle of rebirth. When a devotee fully surrenders to Kali, she takes the burden of their past karma, severs it from their future, and wears it herself. She takes it on so the devotee is left completely liberated.
All right, Section 5, the tongue and the teeth, controlling passion. Next up, we have to examine her most famous and striking facial feature, the outstretched tongue. Honestly, it's one of the most uniquely recognizable expressions in all of world theology. By biting her red tongue with her white teeth, she's using ultimate truth to subdue uncontrollable passion. In Hindu thought, the universe is made up of these qualities called gunas. Red represents the Rajas guna, blood, action, passion, fury. White, on the other hand, represents the Sattva guna, purity, truth, and peace. So by pressing her white teeth down onto her red tongue, she's visually demonstrating the ultimate victory of spiritual purity over blind, chaotic passion.
But beyond the philosophy, this adds a surprisingly human layer to the myth. It grounds her cosmic rage in a moment of sudden, shocking self-awareness. The lore goes that after defeating the demon Raktabija, Kali was just drunk on battle fury. She was dancing wildly, literally threatening to shake the entire universe apart. To stop her, her husband, Lord Shiva, laid down among the corpses. When she felt his chest under her foot, she was struck with lajja, which is this deeply felt Bengali concept of shame and modesty. She bit her tongue in pure shock, instantly snapping right out of her destructive trance.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 6, stepping on Lord Shiva, the climax of the icon. Now, this isn't just a dramatic scene from a story, it's the ultimate theological equation of the universe.
This is one of Hinduism's most profound equations. Consciousness without energy is a corpse, but energy without consciousness is unchecked destruction. In this framework, Shiva is Purusha, the pure, vast, unchanging consciousness of the universe. But consciousness alone can't really do anything. It needs Shakti, the dynamic, moving energy represented by Kali. As the ancient saying goes, without Shakti, Shiva is a corpse.
So when she touches the pure consciousness of Shiva, her terrifying rampage ceases, and it saves the entire universe. She provides the energy to create, sustain, and destroy, while he provides the grounding awareness that gives that energy purpose and limits. Her foot on his chest, it isn't an act of disrespect at all. It is the perfect, essential union of mind and action, of stillness and motion. Together, they are the complete reality. So, what severed head of your own ego do you need the Dark Mother to strike down today? The next time you see her startling image, I bet you won't just see skulls and weapons. You'll see a map to ultimate liberation, a reminder of the fleeting nature of time, and the fierce, uncompromising love of a mother who's willing to destroy your deepest illusions just to set you free. Thank you so much for joining us on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we will see you next time.